we're good. We're not as good. Welcome back to God's Autobiography, the thing that I keep forgetting about. Revisiting the topic of veganism just from some conversations that I've read recently. And I don't know, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt when arguing for or against things like this. And in any type of conversation, when you keep hearing a lot of really stupid remarks, I do my best to say, hey, they don't actually believe in that nonsense. They're just trolling or getting a laugh or, I don't know, testing out tactics. I don't know. So this video, I guess, is a little bit of a step back from my typical assumption, and like, maybe what if some people actually think these arguments are valid or true, or I don't know. It seems that if these are authentic arguments and people actually believe some of it, then they don't have a damn clue what they're talking about. And I'm only gonna, I guess, dive into the vegan aspect of this type of situation. Kind of started, I guess, this time around with watching one of Joe Rogan's recent clips. I don't remember the guy that he was interviewing. I want to go back and watch the whole thing. But they were talking about veganism, and the guy's claim was that every vegan is an asshole, and he even clarifies, like, every vegan that he knows is an asshole, and that's completely fine. There's plenty of them. I imagine the ratio of asshole vegans is similar to asshole everything else. They're the minority that screams the loudest is usually the one that people paint a broader picture from, and veganism is no different. We've got a lot of crazies that push a really silly pathological mentality, and other people attach it to veganism as a whole. But the guy is also, I believe, a comedian, so I imagine he's over exaggerating his opinion as well for, I don't know, comedic effect. I doubt that I'm going back to that, like, I doubt people are actually that stupid, but I doubt that he's willing to paint his anecdote over an entire class of something that as broad as veganism. So yeah, benefit of the doubt still. But the comment section got even worse with, namely, a lot of people trying to say that veganism is a religion or a cult. And again, if that's your anecdotal experience with some crazy people involved in it, then maybe that's what you're inclined to believe. It's a pretty retarded belief, because you have to not understand what veganism. I can't fucking say it. You have to not understand what veganism is. You have to not understand what religion is in order to make that claim. Like, you're double dumb just to try to make a really stupid point. But religion, there's, for the most part, the axiom in religion is a deity. Like, technically Buddhism isn't a religion because there is no practice of a deity. There's no divine ruler. Being an atheist is not a belief, it is a lack of belief in such deity. You can be atheistic and hold religious values. You can find, I don't know, just like you could read a book and find inspiration from it and think that's a good book for morality. You can do that with all of the other fairy tales, including religion. Veganism has absolutely nothing to do with a deity or an almighty power or a book of morals. Like, I don't know, you can make equivalences between the two, but they are exclusive from one another. It is not a religion by any means. That doesn't mean that there isn't some cult following to it. That is completely plausible, possible, likely even. You got a bunch of retards on this planet in every category. Some are going to be vegan, some are going to be militant. There's a funny little quote that said, extremist vegans become ex-vegans. It's probably true. People dive a little too far into this. But I don't know. It's really hard to put more eloquently, but it's not a religion. It's not even questionable if it's a religion, if you understand what religions are and what veganism is. It's not the same thing. Regardless, another claim was that it's for the wealthy. I'm poor as fuck. I've been vegan over 3 years. I'm feeling good. I don't eat well compared to like what my mind would like to plan out for a diet, but I eat better than most people that I know, and it's cheap as shit. That's not for the wealthy. It's not for the privileged. There are outlying cases. Some people are not able to adopt this from maybe like geographical standings where they live, maybe their income, depending on like what's available to them. If that's the case for you, that's fine. Ooh, I'm breaking shit. Yeah, that's a case for an individual, that is fine, but that is nowhere near how it works as a whole. Why can't I do this anymore? It's cheap as fuck. That's it. People making the claim that it is unnatural, and if it were natural, then vegans wouldn't need to supplement. And one guy even tried to say in a comment to me that if there was a national collapse, then people wouldn't be able to be vegan, and that's why it's not good. which is pretty retarded, because if you know anything about vitamin B12 and where omnivores get it, it is from dirt. It is an essential thing that we need in our body, and we don't eat dirt anymore. We clean our shit. So we take the majority of the synthetic manufactured B12 and we give it to cattle, so then we eat it as a byproduct. Like, you're supplementing that shit. And if there's a national collapse like this fucking idiot's paranoid about, you're not going to be having that. So you're going to be needing to supplement as well. Dumb claim. Moving on from that. So it is not a religion. It is not for the wealthy. There are stupid people involved in it. Now, a big one that I see a lot of people saying is, like, if people are complaining about being a vegan and the impact on the environment, they're not looking at like this or that, or how many animals are killed in plant agriculture. I mean, for starters, I see a lot of people saying, like, why aren't vegans upset about this? Like, there probably are. If anything is built around harming something else, a proper vegan is against it. But that is also being, like, to make that argument is to be ignorant about what it means to be vegan. It is not about turning off this harm switch. It's not about changing the world in an instant to a place that doesn't have violence. Like, no rational or intelligent human is, like, even gonna fathom that as a plausible scenario, that we're just gonna be perfect. Like, everything takes steps, everything takes phases, everything has to change at a unfortunately slow rate. And that's one of them. Like, if you're worried about I don't know how many animals are killed in plant agriculture, like, not eating the animals, like in the organizations that are designed to kill animals, there's probably more dead there than as a byproduct of just the plants. Plus, if you're eating animals, you're probably also eating plants. It's not about a zero sum. It's about doing your best, doing what you can. And there's going to be death along the way. That's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what. It'll always happen. We will not have a vegan world. We will not have a perfect world, but we can still aim for that, just so we can always have something higher than us to aim for. So yeah, just fucking retarded. Things are going to die. It's okay to accept death as a vegan. And you're not making a good point if you're trying to say, oh, you shouldn't be vegan because you're still contributing to this. It's like, yeah, I am. I'm still driving a car. I'm still burning fuel. I'm still damaging the environment around me. But I'm doing my best. I'm just doing what I can. Like, if there's something that I know is directly causing harm and I can do less of that or none of that, I'm going to make steps in that direction. If I can't bail on that entirely, I'm going to slowly find a way to transition out of it. That's how it goes. That's how vegans act. At least the ones that I've met and spoken to in real life. Maybe not the ones that are, like, shouting at your wall, because, I don't know, someone's shouting at a wall anyways. Maybe you shouldn't listen to them because they're shouting at a fucking wall. Oh man, there was another one. Well, there's I don't know who keeps spitting this out. And again, like, I hope people don't actually believe in these nonsensical arguments, because they're not good. They're not good at all. They're highly retarded. That plants feel pain. Well, one, no. I'm pretty sure they don't. They lack a brain. They lack a central nervous system. At least as far as we understand pain, plants don't experience that. They react to their environment. That's different. Even if plants did feel pain, you kill more of them in the animal agriculture than you would if you just ate the plants. Again, this is not a zero death game. This is a let's reduce it as much as we can. We have to eat something. If plants were as sentient as everything else, then we would want to eat as few of the sentient things, so we would just eat the plants. We can get all of our nutrients from them. I should have wrote things down, but it's cold as fuck outside. I didn't expect that. Oh shit, what were some of the other dumb ones? I did have one person tell me, they better have been joking. It's like, well, lions eat meat. It's like, fuck you, I'm not a lion, nor am I a direct descendant of a lion. That is irrelevant. Lions are allowed to eat all the meat they fucking want because they need it. People mention a lot about canines, how we have a jaw designed to eat flesh, comparing it to a lion. But again, we didn't descend from a lion. Our jaw structure is not that of a lineage descended from the lion. Like that, they look a lot more like a gorilla's. We have this lateral grinding motion for grinding plants. Gorillas have big fucking canines, and they're herbivores. They will eat meat sometimes if they need it to survive. A vegan will eat meat sometimes if they need it to survive. Like, why the fuck would I let myself die knowing that, all right, I have to take this life in order to survive? My life matters more than every other life. Because to you, your life should matter more than every other life. You have consciousness attached to your own body and mind. You're not going to put something else in front of you. That's not to say you wouldn't sacrifice your life for maybe someone or something else. But for the most part, you probably care more about you than everything else. And good on you for doing that. If I know for some reason that not eating an animal will kill me, I'll eat that animal. It's just extremely rare that that'll ever happen, and it most likely won't. I guess that's the same thing, just saying it twice. God damn, I'm too cold. Arizona is not supposed to be this cold. And that's pretty much it, I guess. I really hope people don't believe in these stupid arguments that they make. I'm probably going to do a few videos about this type of thing, because in every single category, be it like racism, the abortion topic, I keep seeing a lot of people holding onto these really, really retarded arguments as if that they're making a valid point, and they're not. They're just speaking about something that they don't know or don't understand. Yeah, it's not a religion. It's not for the privileged. Oh, to a degree it is, but it is not for the wealthy. It's not a cult. Plants don't feel pain. If they did, that wouldn't matter. Yeah, like if you're still eating meat, I don't hate you for it. I'm not gonna hate my first 25 years of life because I used to eat meat. That would be retarded. Hopefully you learned that you are directly contributing to useless, needless harm, and you can make that decision on your own. It's not my place to make it for you. That's it. That's where it is. Do better. Peace. Last thing that I totally meant to mention, but I didn't, and I'm just gonna blame the cold. Veganism is not a diet. Now, that might not make sense, so just bear with me for a little bit. How I see, or what I believe to be a diet, is a deliberate omission of a food or food group, or several of those, that you've omitted from your intake with typically a physical or health goal. I guess that'd be physical, but a goal in mind. Now, you might still think that that would make veganism a diet, as you're omitting meats or animal products from your intake. But this is kind of the semantic, or I guess the definition that I believe matters most. Within being a vegan, you can be on a diet, for sure. You could omit sugar. You could omit carbs, which would probably be really fucking hard on a vegan diet. But there are several diets that you could undertake. Some of them good, some of them bad, just like every other category. Now let's go on to like a typical omnivore, though. Say that someone that isn't on a diet. You are willing to eat pretty much anything that you like, and I won't consider it a diet if it's just I'm not eating this because I don't like the taste or how it affects my body. I'm not going to include that. But you probably don't eat bugs, which is a bit of that. But it's something that you omit entirely as a potential food. And again, I'm speaking broadly because, at least in Western culture, most of us don't eat bugs. But some people do. So it is a food to some people. But you not recognizing bugs as food does not mean that you're on a bug-free diet. It just means that I'm only willing to eat what I consider to be food, and only anything that I consider to be food if I think it tastes good. As a vegan, that is what I do. I will eat anything or everything that I consider to be food, as long as I consider it to taste good or it doesn't affect my belly. I've got an American stomach, so I'll eat pretty much anything. I do not consider animal flesh or animal products to be food. It is not a food group that I'm omitting from my intake. It is not a food to me, just like bugs are probably not a food to you. Several things that other cultures will eat are probably not foods in your mind. Meat isn't something for humans to consume anymore. Sure, it was in the past. Doesn't need to be now. We can thrive, not just survive, we can thrive without them. It's not a food group to me. So I am not on any diet. There are no foods that I'm unwilling to eat for any dietary reason. I just won't eat flesh because I think it's a fucking gross, unnecessary, useless practice. That's it. I'm not on a diet. I want to be on a diet. I'm too fucking lazy to actually be on a diet because I don't know why. There's no reason. I felt great when I was on one, and I would feel great if I went on one again. I feel good, but you can always improve. Yeah, it's not a diet. I just don't eat things that I don't think are food. And a corpse isn't food. It is future plant matter. It should be rotting. We shouldn't put it in a cement box. We should let dead bodies die and decay so then the plants can eat those, so then we can eat the plants. It's not a food. It's not a diet. Deuces.